You'll have to excuse my voice for this one, because the stupidness of creationists has actually made me physically ill. In today's thrilling instalment of me telling people just how batshit insane they are, I'll be answering a challenge set forth by everyone's favourite ex-atheist, reborn, Bible-thumping, motorbike enthusiast, ShockofGod. As we all know, ShockofGod hosts a creationist radio show, and also calls into other shows with his triumphal marches of illiterate bottom dribble he likes to consider persuasive argument. As much as I'd like to respond with a few quick comments on his videos, yet again I face the wall of creationist censorship, so here's a video instead. Now I like to use little googly-eyed heads as avatars in my videos, but Shock doesn't show himself, so by proxy I present you instead this haddock, riding a bike. Shock of Haddock regularly features my personal favourite illiterate, Nephilim Free, on his shows. They seem to get along very well together, which does not bode well for Shock's integrity as a source of scientific fact or logical argument. An interesting point is that Nephilim lists web design as a hobby, which gives Shock no excuse for his vomit-inducing website. Seriously, it looks like he's advertising for autism awareness, and just listen to the soundtrack.
We have got to lay our lives down for the purposes of God. This is not a Sunday school picnic, the Church of Jesus Christ. This is not an invitation to have continuous good times. This is a war for the souls of men. Come out from among them. Run for your life. Because this is about your life. It's not just about an opposing theology or conflicting viewpoint on Jesus. This is about your life.
If you would be free men, then you must
fight to fulfill that promise. Let us
cut out their living guts 1 inch at a time.
And they will know what we can do.
Shock poses the following question, repeatedly on many shows.
This show, we're inviting atheists to call in and provide proof and evidence that atheism is accurate and correct.
At no point does he allow anyone enough time to answer, instead talking over them and asking the same question over and over, and then claiming victory when they can't answer. It's like talking to a brick wall, only the wall is sitting on your face. So here is my answer. Atheism, the disbelief or rejection of a god, does not require evidence, as it makes no positive claim to be tested. It is supported only by explaining the weaknesses and the arguments in favour of gods. You cannot argue for atheism without arguing against religion. Just like you can't say you don't collect stamps without mentioning stamps. Let's simplify things. Imagine you are given 3 explanations for something. We'll call them A, B and C. Now imagine that these explanations don't satisfy you for whatever reason. So by default you hold position Z, which is the rejection of A, B and C. Z requires no justification outside of discrediting A, B and C. If explanation D comes along and satisfies you, then hooray, we have an answer. But until satisfactory evidence can be shown for a claim, the default position must be rejection of those claims, as shown by a nice big red shiny Z. Understand that, Shock? Until you provide empirical evidence for your claims, I won't believe them, and my disbelief is justified. Now let's see a real-world example. Here's a closed box. You can't open it, so you can't see what's inside. 3 options are given. It could either be a giraffe on roller skates. Unlikely, but we can't prove otherwise. It might be the Isle of Wight. Very unlikely, but we can't see inside the box, so we can't be 100% certain. Or possibly it could be this scale model of Gandalf. More likely, but we still can't see inside, so we have no positive proof for the claim. It's a question of reasonable doubt. Until we investigate further, we have to assume that none of these claims are valid until justification can be shown. Here's our Z again. So, Shock, there's your answer. Very pointless, we all know you won't actually accept any of this. I expect your reply of, but you still haven't shown any proof or evidence that atheism is accurate and correct, any day now, since that phrase is clearly wired to you like a ring pull on a toy creationist. So let's go back to this box then. How do we know what's inside it? Well, we cut it open with the scissors of science, of course. Ladies and gentlemen, Brian May.